Say hello to Nationwide, a company that cares.
We say that we're more than a business because it's true. At Nationwide, we work together to create lasting change in our communities. What makes us different from other companies is our focused approach to lending a hand and supporting communities across America. Nationwide has been fighting hunger for nearly 40 years.
We give to United Way, and the Nationwide Foundation matches our contributions. Volunteering is a big deal for us. Our passion for giving is recognized with time off, grants to our favorite organizations, and a Volunteer of the Year award celebration.
The Nationwide Foundation is a founding member of the American Red Cross Annual Disaster Giving Program. We help our partners prepare to meet emergency and basic needs in times of crisis or disaster.
I'm proud to work for Nationwide. We opened the first on-site American Red Cross Blood Donor Center at our headquarters. Giving blood has been a tradition at Nationwide since 1944, and today we work with blood partners across the country.
One cause close to our hearts is Nationwide Children's Hospital. The hospital provides life-saving care to more than 1 million kids from around the world, regardless of their ability to pay.
Through the support of the Nationwide Foundation, we are transforming the way care is delivered not only in Columbus, but across the country and around the world. We have developed one of the largest and fastest growing research institutes in the country, and we are recruiting some of the best and brightest physicians who are developing new cures and treatments that are benefiting children everywhere.
Nationwide not only supports my volunteerism in the community, but encourages it.
We transform lives at critical moments because we're a company that cares.
You inspire change in so many ways. We see your creativity, your spirit, your determination. You are the power in unity, the strength in diversity, the resilience in community that inspires us all. We see you.
this up. And I am here on the red carpet this evening to interview some attendees and ask them about why they are CIS supporters. So follow along and let's get to know all the attendees tonight.
Hey guys, so I'm Nate Carter, and I'm happy to be here tonight. So I'm supposed to introduce myself. Thanks. It's Melissa. I'm back here on the red carpet, and let's introduce some folks. What is your name? And
David.
David, who are you here with this evening? What organization?
Central Iowa Shelter Services.
All right, and what is your name?
Karen Alberton.
Sure, and are you also with CIS?
I'm with CIS.
I'm Colleen Vaughn, also at CIS.
Great, so we have 3 CIS employees here this evening, and let's learn a little bit about them. What do you do at the shelter?
I'm a shelter advocate for third shift.
How long have you been there?
May 3rd will be 7 years.
Wow, that's a long time. Good for you. Thank you for your work. And what about you? How long have you been with the shelter?
4.5 years.
And what do you do?
I'm a janitorial training supervisor.
Wow, and that's a commitment, 4.5 years? Good. David, tell us about yourself.
I work in janitorial and the garden.
The garden, that's exciting, especially with the overhaul coming up.
Yes. Look forward to it.
And how long have you been with the shelter?
A year. 1 year.
1 year, awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time to chat with me. back and forth. Okay, I'm back, and I'm here with Judy Anderson, her husband, Tom. And Judy, I happen to know, is also one of the board members. I know this because I'm on the planning committee for tonight's event. But did you know that Judy is also one of the founding members of the shelter? Judy, tell me a little bit about that.
Really? Well, there were just a bunch of people who got together from different churches, 8 churches in the Des Moines area. And we started going under bridges, abandoned houses and stuff to try to find homeless, to feed them and try to find a place for them. So after like about a year doing that, we said, oh my gosh, we can actually house them. So each of the 7 churches took a night of the week to house the people. The 8th church provided transportation, so they would pick them up. So another van would come, drop off the cots. The church of the night would feed the people, provide the linens, and nobody died under the bridges. That's how it kind of began. And so we just did every night. It was a different church, and we said, "Oh gosh, we can just do this." So we did it, and we rented a place downtown, and we actually got kicked out of that place. It's the old Trailways bus depot. So actually, the homeless encampment shelter was homeless itself. So the Des Moines Register and Bill Knapp kind of started shaking down businesses and found us some money, and we raised just in a handful of weeks about $500,000, and we became Churches United. And so it was different churches in the community helped actually provide food and whatever else we needed. And so it's just grown from there. So it's a wonderful commitment from this community, how we began.
Definitely.
Hands-on. And the board has been a hands-on board like the whole time. So I'm really proud.
What are you most looking forward to tonight at the event?
I think just seeing people who are that we don't get to see very often. Just on Zoom, but also members of the community that we don't get to see anymore, who have long time supported them, and especially people who are out there who are not able to attend tonight. So we're grateful to everybody's support.
Great. Thank you for taking the time to chat with me. Have a good evening. Yes. Thank you.
Some will lose, some are gonna sing the blues. Oh, the moon. Don't stop believing. Hold on to the feeling. See life, people. Don't stop believing. Hold on to the feeling. See life, people. Don't stop believing. Hold on to the feeling and see life, people.
Hi, I'm back, and I am here with Kevin and Julie. Kevin, tell me what organization you're with.
I'm with Van Manen Technology.
I am Kevin's wife.
Perfect. And what made you choose to support SIS this evening?
We do a lot of work with Central Iowa Shelters and Services throughout the years. We donate a lot of time and a lot of consulting, so we thought it was a great organization to come and be a part of.
Yes, and you're one of the Heroes recipients this evening, are you not?
Yes, we are.
Congratulations. Thank you for your commitment to the shelter, and I look forward to seeing you receive your award this evening.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
So beach in high school. When I finally got sober for 10 years ago, living out in LA, I got a sports car just to prove I'm a real big baller 'cause I made $1 million and I spent all overseas. But you don't wanna be running like me, never really know why you like me. You don't ever wanna step out the roller coaster alone. You don't wanna ride the bus like this, never know who to trust like this. You don't wanna be stuck up on that station, stuck up on that station. All I know, sad song, sad song, darling, all I know, sad song, sad song. I'm just a sinner who already blew his shot. I get along with old timers 'cause my name's a reminder of a past song. I can't keep a girl, no, 'cause as soon as the sun comes up, come on loose and looks nice, she's with the teeth. You don't wanna be high like me, never really know high like me. You don't never wanna step out the roller coaster alone. You don't wanna ride the bus like this, never know who to trust like this. You don't wanna be stuck up on that stage singing, stuck up on that stage singing. All I know, sad song, sad song, darling, all I know, sad song, sad song.
Hi, everyone.
back, and I'm here with Sergeant Pat Hickey, and I am going to ask him a little bit about his involvement with the shelter. Pat, can you tell me why you are involved with CISS?
Well, I coordinate and run the off-duty at the shelter, and I also work down there. I work the afternoon shift and the midnight shift down there. And then about 5 years ago, I was on the board, and this July we'll take the chair for the board.
Oh my goodness, congratulations, I didn't know that. So how long have you been involved with the shelter overall?
Ever since they had off-duty policing, which is about 6 years, 7 years, something like that.
Perfect, perfect. Well, thank you for attending tonight. I really appreciate it, representing the Des Moines PD. All right. Thank you.
I tried to get you, but you're soft and I'm melting. I fell right through the cracks. I'm trying to get back. For the crew to run out, I've been giving in my best sense, and nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's again my turn to learn so, but I won't hesitate. Open up your plans and you'll free. Look into your heart and you'll find love, 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 love. Listen to the music and you know people dance and sing. It's just one big family. And it's our God-forsaken right to be love, 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 love. So I won't hesitate, no. I'm sure there's a need to love me. I'm salvation. This is I'm yours. I've been spinning way too long, checking my tongue in the mirror. I better know the back is just a try to see clear, but my breath under the glass. So I keep my face and I laugh. I guess what I was saying is there ain't no better reason to be myself, a better reason just do it as easy. What we need to do, our name is our virtue. So I won't hesitate, no. I'm yours. Open up your mind, see like me. Open up your place and tell you're free. Look into your heart and you'll find the sky is blue. So please don't, please don't, please don't. There's no need to complicate, 'cause our time is short. This is our home. I'm yours. See the storm set in your eyes. See the thorn twist in your side. I'm waiting for you. Slide of hand and twist of fate. On a bed of nails, she makes me wait. And I wait without you, with or without you, with or without you. Through the storm, leaves so sure. Give it all, but I want more. And I'm waiting for you. With or without you. With or without you. I can't live with or without you.
I'm back, and I have a couple ladies from Broadlawns. Let's learn a little bit more about them. Oh my goodness, I'm stuttering. So please tell me, what is your name?
Dawn Marie. Jennifer.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So, what made you get involved with CIS?
We actually work close together with them through Broadlawns. So I manage the psych urgent care and the COC, and so when patients come in looking for a place to stay, that's one of the first places we recommend.
And you?
And I work in the emergency room at Broadlawns.
Oh my goodness. Do you have anything interesting you want to share about that?
I mean, we see a lot in the emergency room, and we're just always really happy to help.
So we're standing on a red carpet. I feel like I need to ask you ladies a red carpet question. Who are you wearing this evening? Please tell me.
Well, mine is all from Amazon.
Ooh, spicy. All right. And you?
And mine is actually from Kohl's and Target.
Yes. All right. A couple of fancy ladies here. All right. Well, thank you for attending this evening. I appreciate it. No. Okay, we're back. And we are here with Melissa O'Neill. You are the CEO of the shelter.
Hello, everybody. So I want to introduce to our virtual crowd tonight, this is CIS. CIS was actually a request of our employees and of our clients at CISS, because CIS will be our new therapy dog. 10 weeks old, has all the health insurance and workers' comp and everything else that a regular employee has. And CIS will start coming to work at a 40-hour work week after going through training. And so CIS will be trained as a therapy dog to help provide emotional support for anxiety, depression, and helping people overcome just the struggles of being in our emergency shelter. So CIS, welcome to the family. And I know puppies And kids often raise a lot of money. So I'm hoping that you, as the virtual, help us raise the money to support SIS long term as our emotional support animal here at the shelter. So welcome SIS to the family.
Also, we must point out, SIS is accessorized this evening.
SIS is wearing pearls like any good woman should have on right now.
Absolutely. So if you can see, SIS is definitely accessorized. Oh my goodness. And so adorable. Oh.
So SIS will be fully vaccinated, I believe, next week. And then she will start to be interacting a little bit more. And then at 6 months, SIS will start going through her formal training. And we have a job description, and she'll have a 40-hour work week like the rest of us.
Oh my goodness, that's a big workload for such a little lady.
Yes, well, you know what? SIS is actually the runt of the family, which only seems appropriate here at CISS. As we open our doors to everybody, those that are not wanted in our community, and SIS is no different. So we were happy to embrace her as our first puppy at the shelter.
And you know what? We've been talking all about SIS, but who's this little lady? What's your name?
Haley.
And who are you here with? Where are you a shelter employee as well?
No, my mom is.
Oh, well, welcome. Thanks for attending tonight.
So, Tammy is our new VP of Finance, and this is her daughter. And they come down and volunteer at the shelter on a regular basis, and that's just another way of giving back to CISS. It's not always about the money. It's often about the time that people give, giving their talents, like you, Melissa.
Yes, me. I'm a volunteer as well.
Yeah, so people can think about how they volunteer at the shelter, and their family is no different.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time, Melissa, and Sis and Haley for chatting with us, and enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
Up there. Okay. All right, we're back, and I have Mike, and Karen is a little shy, but oh, she stepped in. So, Mike, tell me, who are you here with this evening? What organization?
So I'm with the Baker Group in Des Moines, Iowa, and we help support the Central Iowa shelters.
Yes, awesome.
And we do a lot of work down there.
Yes, I'm familiar. And pardon? And who are you with?
I'm Karen Kordig, and I'm with Mike Kordig with the Baker.
Perfect. Great. Well, thank you very much for attending this evening. And how long has the Baker Group been supporting the shelter? Do you recall?
You know, I bet it's been 5 to 8 years. Then I know that Eric Mangels is one of the guys, the lead guy, and he's always down here. So.
Yes. So. We're on the red carpet right now, so I feel like I have to ask you a red carpet type of question. And now I mentioned, show me your favorite dance move, and Karen said absolutely not. So what else who are you wearing this evening? I had asked the Broadlawns ladies that, so who are you guys wearing this evening? The answers so far have been Kohl's and Target.
Well, I was going to say Duluth Trading. Part of me is Duluth Trading.
Yeah, all right, I like that.
Probably Gap and Kohl's.
Oh, fancy. All right. Well, thank you both for taking the time, and enjoy your wine, enjoy your evening, and thank you for supporting CISS.
Thank you very much.
cool kids seem to get me. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, like the cool kids. If I'm a little bit different, then that's really okay. Because I'm happy with who I am. I don't care what people say. Everything God always see me. I believe my love is some more than I say I don't want to be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they always get in. I don't want to be like the cool kids, like the cool kids. I don't want to be like the cool kids. I want to be more, I want to live good. I don't want to be like the cool kids, like the cool kids. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we will see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Won't you stand by me, stand by me. If the sky could look upon, tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble into the sea. I won't cry, I won't cry, no. I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Won't you stand by me, stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Won't you stand by me? Stand by me, stand by me.
Hi, I'm here with Amber, and she's here to chat about the coalition. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, so we have the Rolling Hills Coalition, and it covers 15 counties east and southeast of Polk. We're setting up homeless outreach programs, getting our coordinated entry set up to streamline process for folks that are experiencing homelessness. We are consistently getting about 5 referrals for folks experiencing homelessness a week, so it's really picked up, and we're really excited about it. We've had a lot of community buy-in, and so that's been amazing. The community has been amazing, and we're really excited to help out that area that has historically been underserved. So we have the conference coming up on the May 27th, and that will be kind of just a one-year celebratory conference, and then also a way for us to figure out what the community really is needing and wanting and networking, you know, and to learn from them.
Who's attending the conference?
Pretty much anybody is available, is able to come. We really want people from all over, all walks of life, to make sure that we're getting a really grassroots, holistic view of what that community needs.
I'm throwing this on the fly. How does one learn or register for the event?
Yeah, so if you go ahead and contact me at A. Tompkins, TOMPKINS, at centraliowashelter.org. You can go ahead and email me and let me know that you're interested in going. On April 30th, we're actually having a design session to kind of get ready for the conference, and everybody's invited to that as well. That is a free online session, and we have our community platform as well that we are going to be doing that on. So we're absolutely trying to get out and get flyers out and save the dates, and that's April 30th for the design session. So the platform that we're utilizing is really exciting. We're going to have a lot of different information. It's kind of a one-stop shop to learn a little bit about what we're doing and learn what the community's doing and the community partners, because they're doing some really great work out there, and we want to make sure that we're, you know, complimenting them and learning from them as well. So it's really exciting. We're going to be having trainings on there eventually, and yeah, we're really excited about it.
Very cool. How long have you been with the shelter?
Yep, so I started in August of 2020. And prior to that, I had kind of set up programs throughout the organization, or throughout other communities that are more rural. So it was a natural move over for me.
Absolutely, very cool. Love learning about that. Is there anything else that you would like to mention about the conference, about the coalition?
The coalition, we have a housing navigator that is going to be setting up a landlord mitigation and incentive fund to help support the landlords in the area. We're working on that, and then we have a street outreach team of licensed independent social workers that we're hoping to work with the police departments in those communities. And then we have our case manager as well. So just kind of trying to streamline all that, and the conference is really exciting. It's a newer kind of newer type of conference. It's called Open Space Technology, and we're really excited about it. So it should be fun.
You just listed like 10 amazing things, so I think we should go ahead and just mention your contact information again. Yeah. So if they went to the website, would there be information?
Yeah, if you go to CIS's website, Central Iowa Shelter website, our Rolling Hills Coalition is what it's called. And
okay, so that's centraliowashelter.org. And again, let's repeat your name and maybe your email address.
Yeah, Amber Tompkins, and it's ATOM as in monkey, PKIN as in Nancy, S at centraliowashelter.org.
Great. So if anyone's interested in working with any of those efforts, go ahead and contact Amber. And thank you for attending tonight. And thank you for all of your hard work. That's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thanks.
When it gets cold, hold each other till you see the sunlight. Just hold my hand, baby, I promise you I'll be alright. So then, baby, if you just hold my hand, nothing can come between you. Hold my hand, hold my hand, hold my hand. Nights are getting darker and blind. There's no peace inside. Why make our lives even harder? Oh my, I'm fighting tonight. 'Cause I've been there before, and even there before. but together we can be alright. When it gets dark and when it gets cold, hold each other till you see the sunlight. So if you just hold my hand, baby, I promise you I'll do all I can. It'll go better if you just hold my hand. Nothing can come between us. Hold my hand. Tell that you're tired of being lonely, but take my hand, don't let go, baby, hold me. Come to me and let me be your one and only, 'cause I can make it alright till the morning. I can tell that you're tired of being lonely. Take my hand, don't let go, baby, hold me. Come to me and let me be your one and only, 'cause I can make it alright till the morning. Hold my hand, baby, I promise you I'll do all I can. It's a good better if you just hold my hand. Nothing can come between us. Hold my hand, hold my hand, hold my hand. West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is older than the trees, younger than the mountains, rolling like a big country road, sailing home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. All my memories gather round her, miner's lady, stranger to the water. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye, country road, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. I hear a voice in the morning now, she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads.
I'm here with Carter, and I know Carter because we have worked together as volunteers at the shelter. Carter, tell me a little bit about yourself. What organization do you work with?
I work for an organization called Baton Global. It's a consulting firm here in Des Moines.
What do you do at Baton Global?
I'm a consultant of all things.
A consulting firm with a consultant. Right. Interesting.
We help a lot of organizations in town, banks, nonprofits, insurance companies.
Very cool. So Carter, the reason I wanted to pull you over here, can you hear me okay? Oh, yes, okay. Carter, the reason I pulled you over here is because I know that you're planning the golf outing that benefits SIS. So tell me about it.
Yes, every year we host a homeless veterans golf outing. This year it's July 9th. Benefits go to all the homeless veterans that are served by the shelter. July 9th, we're at in Adel, Iowa.
What's the name of the golf course out there?
Oh my gosh, you're putting.
We don't remember.
Maybe if I had one more glass of wine, I'd be able to get.
We'll get back to you with a glass of wine. But I know that you can go to centraliowashelter.org and find more information. And do we provide your contact information, or how do we learn more about it?
Yes. Go to the website. You should be able to go under events, check out events. Contact me if you have any questions. July 9th. We're looking for sponsors, we're looking for teams, we're looking for any way for people to get involved.
Are you a good golfer?
I'm okay. We got second last year.
Yes.
I'm hoping my team can get first.
I've never golfed.
It's a fun game. Maybe you can be a part of a team.
Nobody would want me on their team, but that's okay.
Hey, be a good time.
Thanks for taking the time to chat with me.
Thank you.
I need a little love tonight. Almost all my fall apart. A little bit of looking in my concern. In my broken heart. Shotgun, laying down my heart you down. Tear me apart and then some. How do we call this love? Oh, and I try to run away, but you're right. Tell me to stay and go right. Why do we call this love? Oh, it seems like we've been losing control. Somebody tell me that I'm not alone when I say all I need is a little love in my life. All I need is a little love in the dark. A little bit I'm opening my quicksand. In my broken heart. Need a little love tonight. Almost so enough all apart. A little bit I'm opening my quicksand. In my broken heart. Maybe some part of you just hates me. You shook me up and played me. But how do we call this love? Oh, 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 one time, tell me you need me tonight. Make it easy, you lie and say it's all for love. Oh, 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 it seems like we've been losing control. Somebody tell me.
I'm here with Matt McCoy, and I chose to interview him because he is just one of my favorite Facebook presences. So, Matt, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. It's a lovely evening and a great night to get together for a great cause.
Absolutely. What made you decide to attend tonight's event?
Well, we're honoring Eric Kuhl, who is our Children and Youth and Families Director, and he's being honored tonight at this ceremony for the work that he did during COVID for people that were experiencing homelessness. And so this is a great cause and a great opportunity, I think, to showcase what he's done, and also to talk about how we've come together as a community to address these problems in difficult times.
And I should say, for those of you that don't know Matt, would you please introduce yourself and tell me what your current role is with the city?
Sure. I'm Matt McCoy. I'm a Polk County supervisor, and I represent District 5 in Polk County. I have about 100,000 residents in my district, and we care for their human service needs and a lot of other needs as it relates to county services. And
so you're looking forward to watching the awards recipients tonight. How long have you been a supporter of the shelter?
I have been a supporter of the shelter for a long time. In fact, I think I was one of the first recipients of the Heroes for the Homeless, because I was able to, when I worked in the Senate, get an appropriation to help build Central Iowa Shelter and Services. So my time with the shelter goes way back, and just wonderful board, great people. Melissa's a super director, and they've got tremendous staff, and they just do amazing work with people that are really having a hard time, and they need our help.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree with that.
thank you very much, Matt, for chatting with me, and enjoy the evening.
All right, thank you very much.
I like the way you work it, no diggity. You gotta bag it up, man. I like the way you work it, no diggity. I gotta bag it up. I like the way you work it, no diggity. I gotta bag it up, man. I like the way you work it, no diggity. I gotta bag it up. She's got classy style, street knowledge, baby, I love. Baby never act wild, very low key on the profile. Catching feelings isn't no hope. Let me tell you how it goes. The urge, the words, things, the verb, the love of it, things so free. What you with the climax, don't even know what the happy. You got the pay to play, just sort of bang bang to look for you. I like the way you work it, tongue tied all day, every day. You blow my mind, baby, ain't time, baby, I'ma get you in my ride. I like the way you work it, no diggity, I wanna bag it up, baby. I like the way you work it, no diggity, I wanna bag it up. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Inside of the street I knew, city girl that looked like you. This must be deja vu, but I thought this can't be true. You moved to West LA, New York or Santa Fe, or wherever to get away from me. Oh, but that one night was more than just right. I didn't need you.
In so many ways, we see your creativity.
Frankly said is there, cause I really fell for you. Oh, I swear to you, I'll be there for you. This is not a drive-by. I'm just a shy guy looking for to fly. If you beg or hold my love, when you move me, well, everything is blue. They don't like it so me, the way you do me. Well, oh, I swear to you, I'll be there for you. This is not a drive-by. On the other side of the downward spiral, my love for you went viral. I loved you every mile that you go. And now you're here again, so let's get to how you been and get down to no more friends and laugh. Oh, but that one night was more than just right. I didn't need you, cause I was all through. No, I was overwhelmed and frankly scared as hell, cause I really fell for you. Oh, I swear to you, I'll be there for you. This is not a drive-by. I'm just a shy guy looking for to fly. If you beg to hold my love, when you move me, well, everything is smooth. They don't like it so me, the way you do me. Well, oh, I swear to you, I'll be there Street I knew, stood a girl that looked like you. This must be deja vu, but I thought this can't be true. 'Cause oh, I swear to you, I'll be there for you. This is not a drive-by, just a shotgun looking for two. And you better hold my love. When you know me, everything's true. And like assuming the way you do me, well, oh, I swear to you, I'll be there for you. This is not a drive-by.
Say hello to Nationwide, a company that cares.
We say that we're more than a business because it's true. At Nationwide, we work together to create lasting change in our communities. What makes us different from other companies is our focused approach to lending a hand and supporting communities across America. Nationwide has been fighting hunger for nearly 40 years.
We give to United Way, and the Nationwide Foundation matches our contributions. Volunteering is a big deal for us. Our passion for giving is recognized with time off, grants to our favorite organizations, and a Volunteer of the Year award celebration.
The Nationwide Foundation is a founding member of the American Red Cross Annual Disaster Giving Program. We help our partners prepare to meet emergency and basic needs in times of crisis or disaster.
I'm proud to work for Nationwide. We opened the first on-site American Red Cross Blood Donor Center at our headquarters. Giving blood has been a tradition at Nationwide since 1944, and today we work with blood partners across the country.
One cause close to our hearts is Nationwide Children's Hospital. The hospital provides life-saving care to more than 1 million kids from around the world, regardless of their ability to pay.
Through the support of the Nationwide Foundation, we are transforming the way care is delivered not only in Columbus, but across the country and around the world. We have developed one of the largest and fastest growing research institutes in the country, and we are recruiting some of the best and brightest physicians who are developing new cures and treatments that are benefiting children everywhere.
Nationwide not only supports my volunteerism in the community, but encourages it.
We transform lives at critical moments because we're a company that cares.
inspire change in so many ways. We see your creativity, your spirit, your determination. You are the power in unity, the strength in diversity, the resilience in community that inspires us all. We see you.
outside looking in. This is where grace begins. We were hungry, we were thirsty, with nothing left to give. Oh, the shape that we were in. And just when all hope seemed lost, love opened the door for us. He said, come to the table. Come join the sinners who have been redeemed. Take your place beside the Savior. Sit down and be set free. Come to the table. Come meet this motley crew of misfits, these liars and these thieves. There's no one unwelcome here. And that sin and shame that you brought with you, you can leave it at the door and let mercy draw you near. So come to the table. Come join the sinners who have been redeemed. Take your place beside the Savior. Sit down and be set free. Come to the table. Come to the table.
Good evening again, and we want to welcome you to Central Iowa Shelter Services 12th Annual Heroes for the Homeless. And we're excited to be sharing this event with you finally in person, right? I don't know about the rest of you. And this is really my first in-person gathering for about a year. So it's great to see all of you here, as well as those of you who are joining us virtually, especially as chaotic as this last year has been for all of us. I'd like to take this time to thank everyone for attending, whether you, as I said, are with us or in person, or you know what, if you're at home, prefer to be on your couch in your PJs, I get it. That's the way I've been for about the last 12 months, so you're cool with us. We just thank you for all the support that you have given the shelter, and we hope you enjoy your evening as we recognize people in our community who have become heroes among our most vulnerable, the homeless population. Before we begin, I would like to thank our sponsors, American Equity, Baker Group, Bankers Trust, BH Management, Broadlawns Medical Center, Denman and Company, Flooring America, Sarah Craig Gongol, Kester Construction, Nationwide, Polk County Supervisors, Principal Financial, Jim and Melissa Wessels, and Wells Fargo. Your support means the world to all of us, and we continue to battle homelessness across Central Iowa. We would certainly not be able to do this without all of your help. We also could not do this without the CEO of Central Iowa Shelter Services, Melissa O'Neill. Melissa has worked tirelessly and endlessly these past 5 years to ensure the best opportunities for our homeless population. Her leadership in this community has helped the shelter grow tremendously with the expansion of their more affordable housing for clients to open up just in the next few coming months, as well as the new greenhouse that is just the very beginning of a super cool idea which will become an urban agrihood. And then there's a whole 10-year plan for the surrounding area for it and for SIS. So in addition to doing all of that, she is also the wife to Jeremy O'Neill and the mother to Caitlin and Gerald Patrick. So please help me in welcoming Melissa O'Neill.
You know I appreciate y'all. You don't have to like stand up and make a big deal out of it. Well, you know, for those of you who know me well, you know I don't often read from a script. And from those that have definitely attended the 2018 Heroes, you would find I tripped up all over myself and realized the scripts are really just not for me. But tonight seemed bigger. Tonight seemed more important. Tonight seemed like for the first time we're having a family reunion that we haven't seen each other face to face in over a year. And so tonight I'd like to actually dedicate this evening to all the heroes, to the hospital workers, to the scientists, to the paramedics, to the fire, the police, to our military, and to all the people who oftentimes go, they're in songs, they're in the news media, we champion them. Tonight I want to introduce you to a group of individuals who are the unsung heroes. The people who have served on the front line through a pandemic. The people who showed up every day, who were scared. We showed up for each other. We showed up with the fear of the same uncertainty that our clients go through when they knock on the door at the shelter. The same fear that you go through as to whether or not you should put on your mask as you walk into the grocery store. Can we shake the hand of a friend or give a hug to a grandparent? I want to introduce you tonight to the unsung heroes, the people who don't end up in songs, they don't end up in movies, and they don't always end up in the forefront of a vaccine. So tonight I'd like to introduce you to the staff of Central Iowa Shelter and Service. And if you are an employee who has served on the front line running 3 non-congregate emergency shelters in 2020, if you were on the front line serving over 200,000 meals to people who are food insecure in our community kitchen, if you were on the front line giving a hug to a client who didn't know what COVID-19 was, and you yourself were afraid, would you please stand and be recognized by this group? So you see, the word courage is not something that we just have attached to a vision statement. The word courage isn't something we throw up on a wall and that we prophesize around. You see, the word courage is lived out every single day in our mission. It's lived out not just by the police officers who serve to protect within our emergency shelter. It's not just our civic leaders who are not just here with us tonight that are marching for those who are marginalized by our society, who support the mission day in and day out. You see, courage isn't just a word to us, it's a value. And values are something that are held with the highest integrity that must be cherished at all costs. Courage which allows you to sacrifice, to make commitments, and to realize that just the smallest deed of making eye contact with an individual who's experiencing homelessness is sometimes the greatest gift. Courage is sometimes opening up your wallet, giving $1, helping to put food on the table or a roof over the head of a friend. You see, courage isn't just a word. And I hope that all of you here today will embrace this, because every single one of us in this room can be a hero. Every one of us can make a commitment to open the door, to put a little extra change in a parking meter, to shake hands with a stranger, and to say thank you, or I see you, and I care. I feel like tonight is more important than just our Heroes for the Homeless event, because I heard from many of you walking in the door, this is the first time you've been in public. That takes courage. It takes a commitment, and it takes sacrifice. So thank you, everyone in this room, for for standing up and being a hero. I want to thank everybody virtually, so this message is for you. For those of you who were unable to join us in person, I know it was a tough decision. Do I come in person and do I stay home? And we absolutely respect the decision that you made. You see, every single one of us carries an invisible briefcase. Everyone in this room has one with them. It's sitting on the floor next to them in their chair. Every person who walks into our emergency shelter carries an invisible briefcase. And it's our role and responsibility to help people unpack what's in that briefcase. So for those of you, because I saw a few of you actually look down at the floor, there are a few of you who did that, okay? Inside that invisible briefcase is that fear. It's that indecision. Maybe it's substance abuse or drugs or post-traumatic stress. But for those of you who check, that invisible briefcase, it's still with you. It's whether or not you make a decision to lead and to open it up and to uncover what's inside. So tonight, to those who are virtually, I thank you for your support and your generosity and for coming to tonight's event. And I have one last story to share. And I apologize, I have been practicing this all week, trying not to cry as I tell this story, but it's one I haven't shared before. You see, I was in 6th grade when my mom got a phone call. And that phone call was from my Uncle Bill. Bill was one that we as nieces and nephews cherished. Bill was an airline pilot. To us, he was a movie star. He was the pilot in the movie Wall Street. Man, we would watch that 2-second clip over and over and over again on that VHS tape. And to Bill, he was our hero. You see, that phone call when I was in 6th grade, Bill called my mom to let us know that he was HIV positive. You know what that meant. When was the last time we had a pandemic? So Bill, laying in his hospital bed, he started to write his memoir. And that memoir got to 1 page and 1 page only, and at his funeral, my mother and her sisters were given the first page of this memoir. And it's a quote that I have cherished my entire life. And as those of you who know, when you get interviewed by the public, they say, what is your favorite quote? And I've given the same one since 6th grade. And it still rings true today. No matter how dark the situation, remember how truly lucky you are and give just a little bit back. It may be tomorrow's license to live another day. So for everyone in the room today, I thank you for giving just a little bit back, to having the courage and the commitment and the integrity to sacrifice all, for not just being here, but for serving the homeless in our community who are oftentimes overlooked and swept under the rug. So remember that quote. Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa. That's what tonight is all about. It's about giving back. This is CIS's signature event. It is CIS's biggest fundraiser, so we hope you're very generous tonight, and we thank you for the generosity you've already given. Every year, we pause to recognize and honor the heroes who have gone above and beyond in helping some of Des Moines' most vulnerable, the homeless population. I'm happy to begin introducing to you this year's Heroes for the Homeless. Susan Heiner is the Executive Director at Grinnell Housing Authority. So Grinnell Housing Authority in Poweshiek County is a leading partner in the Rolling Hills Coalition and has stepped up to house individuals and families seeking housing, not just in Grinnell, but all across the region. The executive director is Susan Heiner, and she has pushed for community involvement and coordinated entry throughout the region, housing more than 11 people in the first 4 months of the program's response to the pandemic. If you can all think back to when this pandemic first started, and we had so much uncertainty, we didn't know what we were doing, where we were going to go next, and you have people like Susan who were pulling it all together. CIS saw the need for programs that Rolling Hills offers, not only to help people experiencing homelessness, but to meet them where they are. They also wanted to help those people stay in their communities. Susan has been an integral part in the growth of the Rolling Hills Coalition and in furthering the progress in her own community. Susan has a proven track record of believing in the Housing First model despite the barriers that most find difficulty in working with, making it possible for her to house some of the most vulnerable, not only individuals, but families. So please help me in congratulating Susan Heiner, one of this year's Heroes for the Homeless.
Good evening, everyone. I'm honored to be receiving this Homeless for the Heroes Award, but I'm only one person among many groups in Poweshiek County that has been working very hard to take care of the homeless situation in Poweshiek County. And in fact, at the point in time, Poweshiek County was not considered to have a homeless situation. Even though a lot of us knew there was, it was just overlooked. When my children were young, I used to always tell them they had to greet everyone they met because they did not know if that was going to be the only time that person had something kind said to them. Over the years with my children, we have shared a bucket of fried chicken on Interstate 29 in Sioux City when I went off the off-ramp, came back on so I could give the bucket of chicken and money. We have provided cold water to a gentleman with his dog in 100-degree temperatures down on Highway 92. And there was a time in Highway 6 when I required that our vehicle be stopped so I could get out and go through my groceries and give it to the gentleman that was on a bike along the highway. I'm pretty sure that is the day when my husband decided he better marry me. This past March, I was lucky enough to resume a date with my youngest son. We had always attended the boys' state basketball tournaments. So this year, he and I went to the finals. And after the championship games, we were on Hubbell Avenue, and I reached over to get $20 out of my purse to hand to the gentleman standing at the intersection. My son reached into his pocket, put out all the cash that he had remaining, and handed it to me. We gave that gentleman $80. But the greatest part of that day was that I knew that my son had grown up to know that it's the right thing to do to help someone in need. I have to thank my friends here tonight. Patty is from Sigourney, Iowa, and she's always ready to help me go to Grimes with the truck on a Sunday and pull into somebody's driveway and pick up the furniture that they've set out because I've sent a text the night before that we need to put someone in an apartment on Monday. That same text went to my friend Kathy, who is from Toledo, Ohio, and she's already on a mission to fill the kitchen with items to fill that same apartment. I could not do what I do without my husband, who talks me off the ledge when I'm sitting there trying to decide what in the world do I do next for someone, or my girlfriends that I text, or my children. But again, thank you for this honor. And everyone, please remember, there's always someone you can help. And my favorite quote that's on my phone is by Maya Angelou, and is "Be the sunshine in someone else's cloud."
So remember how I said the importance of writing down a speech? So one of the things I wanted to highlight, so Susan and the whole Rolling Hills Coalition, I have to thank the Polk County supervisors, because you guys didn't know this, but 5 years ago you put a seed. And you said, Melissa, what's the zip code data? Who are we serving? And one of the things we found is actually the Rolling Hills Coalition serves the second highest population in the state combined. And the largest number of individuals who use our emergency shelter were coming from those 15 counties. And so I want to share that this is something we actually started working on 5 years ago. 2 years ago, we started working closer to the state, and it just so happens that a blessing called COVID-19 came and funded it. And not just for 1 year, it funded it for 2 years. And so we're able to now launch this initiative to bring a voice to those 15 counties that did not have a voice or representation at the state. And it's people like Amber Tompkins, our director of the Rolling Hills, her team, and Susan, who have forged ahead. And I think it's part of the reason why the numbers in the emergency shelter last night, I had to do the math, 110, counting the hotel. Those of you who know, we have 150 emergency shelter beds. We normally average 200 people in emergency shelter right now. You heard me right, 110. So soak that in for a second. I won't do that every time.
That's fine. I love listening to you talk, so you can butt in whenever you want, totally. Well, congratulations, Susan. Our next hero for the homeless is Eric Kuhl. He is the director of Polk County Community Family and Youth Services. Polk County Family Services has supported and led the Voluntary Isolation Center for SIS and other shelters in the community since this pandemic all started. They also ensure that everyone experiencing homelessness has, at the very least, a first night stay, housed stay. Eric has been a guiding light to our clients by ensuring that they have safe shelter over their head while going through the testing process during the pandemic. He's been known to call the shelter for clothes or other items at all hours of the day and night to help with the off-site programs and to come and see if our team ever needs anything that he can provide to them. Eric is a very collaborative person, helping to coordinate and plan how we run the off-site shelter. SIS simply would not have been able to get through this entire year without Eric's help and the help of his team. So congratulations and a round of applause to Eric Kuhl, one of our heroes for the homeless.
Thank you. This is a real honor. It's not one that I at all feel is probably warranted, but when a group of people you respect as much as I do want to recognize the work you did together with them, then you accept it. So thank you for that. I'd like to tell you a story about this past year, but if I could go Academy Awards for a second. I think it's proper to recognize that any work I did this year for the county was a collective effort. And it's going to sound like I'm brown-nosing, and I'm not entirely. But it really starts with the Board of Supervisors, who really leaned into the pandemic this year, as I know a lot of elected officials did, looking for people who are more vulnerable to the pandemic in terms of health or economics or information, and finding ways to meet their needs. And so really anything I did was pushed by that vision. Of course, you've all seen emergency management and the health department have been out front working so hard, but really many departments within the county contributed critically to anything that we did this year with sheltering. And in my own department, we had about 5 people early on put their hand in the air and volunteer to help with sheltering activities at some pretty significant disruption to their personal and professional lives. So none of that would have happened without that group of folks. And since you haven't cued the music, I'm going to go ahead and go into my story. And the story begins in January of 2020 when I became Director of Community, Family, and Youth Services. And that was always going to be a very busy time because the county was getting ready to open a financial empowerment center a little bit later that spring. So we had a lot of things going on that time. We had weeks of classroom time and other trainings, and then a week-long exam to become certified financial coaches. We had a lot of meetings with nonprofit agencies to set up working with their clients on their finances and letting them work with their clients on their core mission. And then we had a trip to San Antonio in mid-February to see how that city provides the service to their residents. And I remember coming back from San Antonio one night in mid-February, and I got on the plane, and I was on the middle seat, and a guy got on after me, and he was going to have the aisle seat, and he's wearing a mask. And before he sits down, he gets out a little packet of Clorox wipes, and he wipes down his entire seat, every inch of it. And then he sits down and he wipes down the back of the seat in front of him, and then he wipes down the tray table and the arm over here and the arm over here. And I remember thinking to myself, man, that guy is really hygienic. Sadly, that was my thought, because even though COVID was clearly well known by this time and moving across the United States, it just had not hit my radar yet because I had been so busy getting ready for this program, but it was about to. So I get home that night, back to work the next day, and 2 weeks later, we have our soft launch for the Financial Empowerment Center. It's a really big deal. And a week and a half later, I find myself sitting in a large room at emergency management, surrounded by about 30 other people, all moving 1,000,000 miles an hour. And we're talking about opening up a several hundred-bed isolation shelter on the state fairgrounds for COVID-19 positive homeless individuals and families. So, yeah. So I go home that night, and for the first of many nights, I undress in the garage and put my clothes in a Rubbermaid box marked ominously with a giant red X, thanks to my wife, Sarah. I'm sure a lot of you were in that same boat. And I went to bed that night thinking, here we go. And we did. The next day, we started mobilizing it. And that's really where my close working relationship with Central Iowa Shelter and Services started, because they were there with us right from the beginning. I mean, literally came out to the Youth Inn, Melissa and several others, and walked through the building with us and helped us identify safety and security issues and help us understand the needs of people who might be coming to us. Talked about potential crisis situations. They talked us through good routines and activities to help things run smoothly and which might be familiar to people. And they agreed to provide us food, 3 meals a day, snacks and coffee, a lot of coffee. That was a lot of coffee went down. And you know, keep in mind, this is while they're down the street at the shelter arranging their own operations during a pretty scary time, right? I mean, staff were uncertain, residents were uncertain. There was, you know, we were still learning about the nature of the risks of the virus, and there was constantly evolving information about mitigation activities that they would need to implement and enforce. But despite all that, they're on site with us, helping us mobilize. And they never left, really. I mean, even if they weren't on site after we started admitting people, they were always available for consultation. This agency is a real asset to the community. And not just in terms of direct services to people that otherwise might not have a champion or might not have resources, but like they're experts, they're local experts with amazing skill and experience and wisdom. And I'd like to highlight, if I'm going on too long, I'd like to highlight a few people individually. First of all, Melissa O'Neill. If you, yeah. Melissa, if you know Melissa, you know she's as fierce an advocate as you'll ever meet. And she always has an idea, she thinks big, she pushes hard, and she cares deeply about this work. And then Janice Alford and Dee Enriquez, they know stuff. They know a lot of stuff. And if ever I had a question, I just wanted to talk through a situation, they'd answer the phone and they'd lay some wisdom on me. Thank you very much. And Maury, is Maury here in the room?
He's on vacation.
Oh, well, that's actually shocking. Moriando Moore, if you ever need a coat or hat or underwear or socks or shoes, Maury's your guy. And I know he does way more than that, but many times this year I would text Maury and say, hey, Maury, I just admitted a guy to a hotel. It's -5 degrees. He's wearing nothing but a thin t-shirt, sweatpants, and sandals. And he would text me back within minutes, or frequently an audio file that you'd listen to, and it would say, hey, Maury, this is Eric, I got your stuff. I mean, within minutes. It was so easy. I appreciated him very much. Carrie Reber. Carrie, where are you? So Carrie was integral to moving people out of the shelter into hotels so that we could have appropriate social distancing in the shelter, which is so important in bunk rooms where people are sleeping within inches of each other. And she and her team, sorry, I got a light in my face. Is that you, Carrie? Okay. She and her team picked the right people. They picked people who could go out, who would be responsible, but who also had a chance to get into housing and not return to the shelter, and very few did, right? And they did a great job. And this is why I'm bothering her like 4 times a week for information that I needed for FEMA or emergency management, and she always had such a great attitude about it. Tammy Weir, Jennifer Nobling, Christina Bishop. I don't know, I just met Tammy tonight. These are folks whose work isn't always as a parent, but they keep the books, and there were a lot of books this year. Receipts, demographics, payroll, they did a great job. And finally, really all the staff at the shelter. Every time I go down to shelter, whether it's to drop off cots or PPE or pick up a coat from Maury, I'm just so impressed with the professionalism. And during a very difficult year, I saw time and time again compassion and patience, and yet firm, and they were outstanding. And I bring all these folks up because many times this past year, I found myself asking, am I doing enough? Am I giving enough? Am I learning enough? Because it's humbling to work around you folks. So, finally, I'd just like to say to everyone, thank you for being here in the room or tuning in virtually, because the people who do this work and the agencies that provide these services and the people who need them are important.
Thanks, Eric. Okay, so now I want to see a show of hands, and I want you to be honest about this, okay? So this time last year, how many of you were running around town looking for Clorox wipes? Raise your hands. How many of you were searching for hand sanitizer? How many of you were hoarding toilet paper? I see you, right? I'm right there with you. I was too. We still have like...
We got the best stories. So I have to say, February 3rd was the first time we implemented our emergency plan. Janice Alford, our VP of Operations, she cleaned everybody out. Hand sanitizer, masks. We had on masks that looked like we were ready for a nuclear war. I mean, that's the type of preparation Janice had for the staff of CISS, and that was in February, March. Then we dialed it back a little bit, and we may have stashed a few things, like toilet paper.
I still have like 5 huge bundles of toilet paper in my basement. I know, I should be giving some away by now. But so imagine doing this on a large scale, like for Central Iowa Shelter Services, or if you were trying to coordinate security for large businesses or for the homeless shelter, new phones, public announcement systems, new construction. You know, it makes us looking for toilet paper and hand sanitizer, you know, we're amateurs here, we're rookies. Van Manen Technology has donated cable, professional expertise, and worked with CIS's IT team on a volunteer basis, saving CIS thousands of dollars in both materials and labor, and keeping the safety of the team and residents in mind the whole time. They continue to support the mission through the use of technology. On behalf of Central Iowa Shelter and Services, please welcome Vice President and Van Manen, Kevin Lemon, here to accept the award on behalf of Van Manen Technology as one of our heroes for the homeless.
Well, I'm not sure if I have to give a speech because I think Sonia just gave it for me. She did so well for me, talking everything we did. You know, of all the other people who are receiving this award, which I congratulate each and every one of you, you guys did something on an individual basis, which is great. We had the opportunity to do something on a company or corporate-wide basis, and it would have never happened had we not been doing work at another facility. And one of the people who work with Central Iowa Shelter Services, Ryan Leames, talked to my senior project manager, Tim Hudson. Tim, stand up. So, and ask if we'd be interested to consult or help out, lend a hand. And Tim's like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, let's go do it. Go talk to them, see what they want. We can help out. And in talking with the IT staff and the management staff, they kind of told us what their concerns were. We had some ideas to help them out. And over the process, I think we've done a really good job with trying to get things going in the right direction for them. 2 key things that we have done for them with them working with us is we've installed a new access control system. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically a key fob. It gets you in and out of a building. For their residents, we gave it to their residents so they can get in and out of their rooms. So it adds a lot of security to them and to the staff as they can get in and out of their offices and in and out of the building. The other thing we were able to do was to put in a new paging system. The paging system has many functions. Apparently they like it. So it can, it's great where you, if you need to intercommunicate, it's also great for any type of notifications. And one of the biggest things about a paging system, it goes hand in hand with mass notification. And as everybody in this room knows how the weather is in Iowa and our great derecho we had last summer, you know, mass communication is very important. So again, I'd like to thank the rest of my staff I have with me. Jason McSkimming, one of our PMs. Todd Dickerson, one of our PMs. And Todd works very much hand in hand with everybody. He did a lot of the installation for the systems we put in. So again, I'd like to congratulate everybody else who's being recognized, congratulate everybody in the room for all you do, and definitely congratulate these people who run this place. They do an amazing job, and it's a great service to the community. So thank you.
Okay, one fun story. All right, so these guys are cheering for a reason. I know my friends at Primary Healthcare, you guys are virtual tonight, and just so everybody knows, Primary Healthcare came down last night, yesterday, and held our first vaccine clinic. So shout out to PHC. So here's the fun. Nobody knew how to use the paging system. So the IT guys are also virtual tonight. So I had a rough lesson yesterday on how to use the paging system. We used it for the very first time to communicate to everybody in our building. The PHC was on site to give vaccines to those who were interested on our first floor, our second, and our third. So your paging system that you guys helped provide didn't just help us with those emergency plans. It actually announced the first vaccine in our building. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Von Mannen. So Micah Keel is the Director of Philanthropy for Wells Fargo in the state of Iowa. Micah has been an advocate for CIS and the community for several years now. And during the COVID pandemic, he saw a much bigger picture, and Wells Fargo granted the state $150,000 to rapidly house everyone living in the emergency shelters, not just here in central Iowa, but all across the state. This reduced the population in the shelters prior to any CARES Act funding even being available. So we hear about the CARES Act funding all the time now, and trillions of dollars going out. But it was those people at the very beginning of this pandemic who were willing to really contribute both their time and a lot of money to help people get through this. Wells Fargo has also supported the Polk County Continuum of Care strategic planning roll out, and also ensured partners around the community had a voice in creating this much larger plan. So we want to congratulate Micah Keel with Wells Fargo.
Hi, good evening. My name is Micah Keel. I'm one of the co-directors of philanthropy for Wells Fargo in the state of Iowa. I'm so excited to be here tonight virtually, just due to COVID precautions of some things I have to manage for me. But I wish I could be there in person and can't wait to be there again next year. I am so honored to be holding and receiving this award as a hero for homelessness. I congratulate the fellow honorees this evening. Well done on a tremendous amount of work and commitment to help those we all are so passionate about. It's especially humbling to receive this kind of award when I know there are so many folks who had a hand in the story that brought this to fruition who are not receiving it. So I want to say a few thank yous to all of you. Shelly Marquez and Christina Castro-Matukowicz, thank you for setting up the path for us to donate a project manager to the homelessness system, to the continuum of care, and to empower us to make the investments with SIS that we have. I want to thank Kara Ellis and Tammy Roberts, who were those project managers, to help us do a tactical plan for our community that would try to make all stays brief, short, and one time to the greatest extent possible, and help us keep healthy relationships in the homelessness system. You two did amazing work, and Tammy, I want to lift you up especially because you drove us to the end and got our many stakeholders engaged in that to really come up with a wonderful plan that we're currently working on today. It's just phenomenal. I am honored, I am touched, and so grateful to my company to get to do the work we do, to land money, to land resources such as Tammy, such as Kara, to be the greatest partner that we can be in this community. It's an honor to work alongside Melissa O'Neill and her team. Melissa is the most driven and innovative leader I have run across in a long time. And Melissa, I think that this journey kind of started in your office when I took this job 3 years ago. And I'm so glad for the partnership that we have and celebrate the work that you and your team are pulling off. It's amazing. I'll just, because I don't know if I'll ever receive an award such as this again, I'll just take a moment to send my love to my family. I love you all very much. And I'll also say especially to Jade Song. Jade, I have learned so much from you in the last year, and I'm just so grateful to you for all you've taught me. I love you so much, and yeah, I want to make sure you get to hear that in this moment. Thank you again, everybody. Take care. Look forward to a wonderful rest of the evening.
Thank you, Micah. Thank you. A big round of applause, please, for all of our heroes for the homeless tonight. It's always nice to receive these awards, but we know that's why, this is not why you do it. You do it because you feel it here in your heart. And I always tell people when I'm training for an athletic event, you know, you always see the smile on my face when I cross the finish line, but you don't see the hours and hours of training and work that goes into it. And really, that's the hard part. The race itself is not the difficult part. It's the work that you put into it every single day. So we know what you do, and we appreciate you so much. And we have one more person that we want to recognize, David Ellis, who's the chair board for SIS. Could not do it without you as well, so thank you.
I was not expecting to have any minutes, let alone a couple minutes. But obviously the board is made up of a lot of individuals that have been very helpful throughout the last 3.5 years since I've been the chairperson. I'd like the board members to all stand now and get recognized for tremendous work that they do throughout the year in the last 3.5 years that I've been leading this group. So please stand up, Jim, Judy, Shirley, Pat, Curtis. And we've got some that aren't here tonight. Justin Shane is running our virtual event tonight. And Dave Everett, Chad Benziger, Vanessa Blanchfield. Anybody else I'm forgetting? All right. I'm not very good with names. Well, the other reason I'm here, I believe it's that time to.
So we have a little bit of wine left, and Matt and Bob, you've graciously agreed to help us auction the rest of the wine off.
They have. All right.
They have. I've been told. Yeah, you have to come up here. So, Judy, how much wine do we have left? A lot. That's not, okay. So here's what I know to be true. Historically, the last 5 years, the wine is gone and the liquor prior to this event even starting. All the wine is a minimum of $20. There are a few $100+ bottles of wine and liquor out there. And while we recognize that substance abuse is a big issue behind homelessness, we also recognize that alcohol seems to raise more money at events like this. So the more you enjoy yourselves, the more money we get for our emergency shelter. So I'm not going to be shy about that. So we minimum $20, guys. Okay, minimum $20. The Kraus family, just so everybody knows, has generously donated 2 bottles, a red and a white, from their personal vineyard and collection in Italy. They are in bags out there. From what I understand, they're still available. So for those of you that know that story, I talked to Tina. Tina will tell it. So that's where we're at. Judy, what do we got to do? You going to bring the wine up here? Did you know that? What? Oh, Tanya's got the first bid. You're in at 20. There we go. All right. And by the way, if we don't auction it all, we're just gonna have to cook with it in the kitchen. Our community kitchen program's got to be one of the best in the city, right? Angela is about ready to run out of the room right now. You're welcome. And spirits, don't forget that. Okay, so minimum, Curtis is bringing them up. You don't know what you're getting, but we got a bid from Tanya for 20 bucks. All right. 40, I got a bag for 40. We got 40. You don't even know what you're getting. Which bag is it? It's the brown bag. All right, I gotta get out of the way. You two have to do this. Have fun with it.
All right. Well, Matt and I think that Melissa's doing a pretty good job, so we'll just take off. You know, we were concerned that Micah wasn't going to get a sculpture, so we had some county personnel go over to Sonia's house and pick up toilet paper for him. Thought that he might appreciate that. She's got several bundles, apparently. We don't really know what we're supposed to do here, to be honest with you. We don't really have any time frame. We don't really have any... Let's look. So here's Sonia's going to be Vanessa here tonight, and so we got this delightful.
But we don't show them what's in it.
No,
right?
we don't show you what's in it.
I want it.
This could be Mogan Dave for all you know, but it's going to cost you $20.
Whatever's left over.
Right.
I think you're supposed to.
So everybody needs to leave with a bottle.
Okay, that's 2 bottles. 2 bottles. All right. So.
All right. You see, showing the bottle helps. All right.
Right.
So let's get with the program.
All right. We've only got about 110 bottles to auction off here, so.
$40.
So. All right. Next table. How about over there?
Is that 40? 40 was over there. Is that 60?
This is COD too, by the way. There's no credit cards. All right. Who else wants a bottle of wine? Got a bottle over here. Cabernet.
I'll pick 20 on. I got that one for 20.
Okay, that's another bottle.
Oh, I got 25, Sonia. We got 25.
This is a
30. $30 on the bottle. I got $40 on that bottle. See, I just went to the Ducks Unlimited banquet.
Yeah, that's it.
We got to clean this room out at 8
There's
o'clock.
There's a lot.
And Melissa doesn't realize this, but we have to close this room out about 8 o'clock, so we can't be bidding like this.
I got a Merlot.
Hey, Merlot, who wants a Merlot? 20 bucks. 20 bucks for Merlot. Raise your hand. Nobody likes Merlot. All right, take it back there. Next wine.
Here you go, here's one.
Here's a white wine. What's a Chardonnay, maybe?
I don't know.
Let's see what this is. Oh, Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon.
Sauvignon Blanc. This is a $40 bottle of wine if I ever saw one. Eric wants it. All right. He wants it for 20 though. Okay, fine. He's done enough.
There you go.
All right, this is a 91 point, scored a 91 point Sauvignon Blanc.
91 point Sauvignon Blanc here. Not from Napa, from Italy. Who wants this beauty? It's got a screw top. You can drink it right here. $20. Here comes Steve Johnson with his wallet open.
This is out of Chile. It's a very fine wine.
Okay, here's one out of Chile. We know our Chilean brothers make great wine. All right. 40 for 40 for, 50.
This is a very fine wine.
They cannot hear you.
All right.
What? They can't hear it.
All right. We have Chilean wine. This is our wine from Chile. It's a red, I think, and worth $40 probably, or maybe 20. 60 over there. All right, let's let Melissa do it. Oh, we got. All right. Now this isn't wine. This is actually whiskey, and this has screw top also, so you can jump into this right away. 80 bucks. We got a whiskey drinker over here, boy. Look us up after the event. All right, only 50 more bottles to go.
There's another revelation.
Another revelation, and this is another whiskey, honey whiskey. 20 over here. We'll take it. We're in a hurry. Okay, we got a Chardonnay, straight up Chardonnay here from Italia. Awesome. How much? How much? You're first. Okay. This is a vintage reserve red. Very good. This is a very good one. 20 over here?
50.
50? Where?
50.
Where? $70 sold. All right, now this bottle here, we're not sure what this is exactly. We think it came from Long John Silver's treasure chest, maybe. But it's worth $40. 40, 45 to Jack Hatch. 45 going once, going twice. Jack, 50 over there. Whoa, you're quick. 50. Probably. Now these three here say this is really good. How much? 40 for this. 40 going once. $40. All right, you win. 40.
This one's so fancy it doesn't have a label.
This one's so fancy it doesn't have a label, Matt says. It has kind of a barcode. So, but it's got to be worth $20, right? And it's got a pop top like a beer too, so that's kind of weird. Who wants this? Oh. How about 20 bucks for this beauty? Oh, no, sorry about that. Okay, 20 bucks for you. Here's your bottle of wine / beer.
This is called Humboldt Roots Estate Wines.
Okay. Okay, we got a white wine, Humboldt Roots Estate Wines. Very good wine, very good. You'll like this. Yeah, it's white, dry, unoaked, really good. I have no idea, actually. I'm just up here babbling. $20 for this. What's this wine for 20 bucks? We might be through the wine buyers.
Italian.
Yeah, this is straight up Italian here. This is Dolcetto d'Alba. Oh. 20? 20 going, right? You get it. All right, we still have this estate white wine here. This stuff's good. How many more million bottles we have left? 20 bucks? Okay, we got 20 bucks over here. That'll get your attention.
All right, I'm gonna interrupt. You wanna make an announcement? Okay. So we can have some fun, but not. Is that yours or mine?
Yeah, it's yours now.
It should be mine. Yeah. Melissa, this was dropped on the ground. What's yours?
Okay, we still have several bottles of wine, whiskey, all kinds. I know. We'll get together afterwards, Tina. But we have a really important announcement that we need to make right now before we close. Once again, one of the sponsors, Wells Fargo, has something really important for all of you who are here and also online.
Hello, everyone. I'm Micah Keel, one of the co-directors of philanthropy at Wells Fargo in the state of Iowa.
And I'm Eric Idahan, one of the co-director of philanthropy for the state of Iowa. We want to welcome you and say thank you for supporting CIST. We are putting out there a challenge grant, a $50,000 challenge grant that we want you to match it to help donate and contribute to the wonderful work that CIST is doing. And I do know that from your heart, you want to give. Michael, do you believe that?
I definitely do. I can see all your hearts out there, and you want to open up those checkbooks so that we can bring more money to CIS and end homelessness here in Polk County in the state of Iowa. So help us. Help Eric, help me, help CIS, and let's do this. Let's raise $50,000.
Let's go do it. Thank you.
All right. So here's the challenge. Angela?
My favorite part of the show. Get your pocketbooks out because Polk County is going to give $5,000. So let's go. I know you can do it. Wells Fargo said they'll match up to 50. Melissa, now take it over. Okay, Dave, go for it.
And there's a lot of wine that goes along with this, too, by the way. So.
Yeah, keep drinking, but be willing to raise your hands. So is anybody willing to match Polk County's gracious gift of $5,000 to help us get to $50,000 this evening?
Don't be shy. So Maddie has graciously put on the board. Now come on, don't be quiet. Don't think you're gonna kill it like that. So graciously, Maddie's put on the board what it costs for us to feed an individual and shelter an individual for a day, a week, a year. And don't be shy about that $18,000 number there at the bottom line, right? I think it's on there. So this is the important
Jack Hatch, 5,000. Thank you. Maybe online. That's right. We got 3,000. That feeds one person for a full year, $3,300.
There we go. We're getting closer. John, I know Justin Shane is working it online right now. Does Justin have any online donations at that $5,000, $3,000 level? Not yet. Come on, online. Don't be letting the people in person show you up.
How about 2,500? Anybody for 2,500? I'll put in $2,500 from Denman and Company. Anybody else at the $2,500 level? There are cards on the table if you don't want to raise your hand and be caught throwing your hand up in there, but so you can do it privately if you want to. That'll count, but please give as much as you can.
Maybe two bottles of wine.
Sell you that brown bag and you get a bottle of wine.
$2,000. Anybody for $2,000 and a bottle of wine from Judy?
$1,500 is 2 bottles. That seems like a better deal. Judy, maybe we should have you up here.
Yeah, Judy, come on up.
New auctioneers in the house, so.
Oh, we got
1,500. Thank you, Joanne Tucker. She was buying the wine, I know that. Anybody else at 1,500? 1,500. Sue and Todd, thank you very much. 1,500. Thank you very much.
we're trying to do math. Yep, he's got it. 13.
Anybody else at 1,500?
So I'm looking at the treasurer on our board to see if he's doing the math.
He's drinking. He's not doing his
He's
math.
not doing the math.
All right, $1,000. Anybody for $1,000? We got $1,000 on them.
Thank you, Zane.
Thank you, Zane. Anybody else at $1,000? Doug and Robin Webb, thank you very much. Or was it just Doug Webb and Robin? $1,000 back there.
Oh, thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. Well, I think we're going to wrap this up so we can. One more? I'm sorry. Hey, Jennifer, I'm sorry. Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer Garrels. As I mentioned, there are pledge cards at your table, so if you feel free to fill those out and leave them on the table. We'll pick them up after the event's over. So I'll turn it back over to.
You turn it over to me. Yeah, thank you. Well, honestly, you guys, tonight wouldn't be made possible without each one of you willing to sacrifice just a little bit to help support those living in our emergency shelter and on the verge of homelessness across the state of Iowa. So I want to personally thank you. I know our staff thanks you and our board thanks you. And so while we joked a little bit, and we had some fun obviously with the wine and with the matching gift, thank you Wells Fargo for that matching gift, I want to encourage you to think about a $10 a month pledge, a $20 a month pledge. All of those little things make a massive difference in the operations of our emergency shelter. For those of you who don't know, we also, through the Community Foundation of Des Moines, accept stock donations and transfers. And if anyone here feels so inclined, we would love to be a part of your will. That is all about continuing your legacy well beyond. You're welcome, Jim. I did that because I saw you and Scott sitting there. Yeah, I don't have a glass right now. So think about just the little things. The little things matter. And next time you come across an individual who doesn't look like you or act like you or maybe smell like you, please know that they're a person. There's somebody's brother, there's somebody's sister and son and daughter, and maybe there's somebody's mom and dad. And so please just remember to have the courage to make eye contact, to say good morning, to hold the door, and to realize that every single one of us every day can make just a little difference in the life of another person, whether they're living in our emergency shelter or maybe they work in your office. And so thank you very much for coming today. Please enjoy for a little bit longer. We usually go out and we obviously have some fun in the lobby and the cocktail afterwards, so you don't have to leave just because we're done here in front of the podium. But we do still have 4 brown bags that are looking for a home. And you know this is all about ending homelessness. So they need some help. I got a donor right here, perfect. So thank you all very much, and thank you, Angela, Bob, and Matt, for just jumping in, right? This is fun. So thanks, everybody.